Hello.
correct? It's a software
So,
application.
software application. It will be used for what are the business really wants to.
Okay, so in simple, that is a software application. Okay, any organization need at least one software application. It could be any ERP application. Okay, so let's say SAP or Oracle or a GD Adverse. Maybe in a list it can be Tally, right? So record their daily business operations and get the reports. Reports are two types. One is the external reports and one is the internal reports, right? So to get your external reports, which module supports in SAP? Who want to tell? With which module we can get the external reports? Ashwini, which module is used to get the external reports? Bonu, you know?
External report costing, right time, right decisions.
That is internal reports, reports. What is the purpose of FI module, guys? I told you, I've been telling you from the last week. What is the purpose of FI module? Let's go back. Let's go back and see. So we have started here, right? We have started here. We spent a lot of time and we discussed, right? You see, FI module is for your external reporting, right? P&L and balance sheet. CO module is for an internal reporting purpose, which is nothing but planning, forecasting, decision making, right? So why you guys forgot the base of the course? What is the reason? Are you guys not going through the notes and are you guys not putting interest? What is the problem? I was telling keep on many times I told you, right? Mohammed, are you there in a call?
Yes,
Yeah. Mohammed, why are you forgetting and why are you not telling? Why are you not remembering actually? Please concentrate. Whatever I'm telling, this is not a story, this is a real time. Okay, whatever discussion we are having in a class, entire duration we are talking how real in a real time it works, and the language we use in a real time only I'm talking. Okay, you have to remember that, you have to make your own notes. If at all any doubts, you come back to me. That's what I'm telling daily, right? So leave it from at least now you revisit the videos so far we have done and write down your notes. Okay. We discussed a lot about SAP. We discussed a lot about SAP ECC. What is SAP S4 HANA? What are the new things in SAP S4 HANA? Okay. There are real things we have understood, and we have also understand the system landscape. What is mean by system landscape and what is a basic system landscape we should have an IT system? Who want to tell? What is the basic system landscape? Come on.
develop, development system,
Sorry.
quality system,
Correct.
production system.
Production system. Why we need to have a different system? Anyway, we can have one SAP system and we can perform everything, right? What is a big deal? Why do we need to have a system landscape differently? Like I've explained, right? Yesterday and day before yesterday. Why do we need a system landscape like this, Mohammed?
Uh, uh, can I speak in Telugu, sir?
No problem. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, మీరు ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్పారు కదా సార్. మనం డైలీ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మనకు ఒక బైక్ ఉందనుకోండి, దాన్ని మనం మార్కెట్లో యూస్ చేయాలనుకున్నా మరి డైలీ బేస్ కైనా బయటకి వెళ్ళి వేసుకెళ్ళకుంటే ఒక బైక్ ఉంటే దాన్ని
Okay.
మన పని దీంతో ఈ బైక్ పని కూడా అవ్వచ్చు.
Mohammed, sorry to interrupt you. Your network might be not good. You are not audible completely. You are not audible. Okay, Ashwini, can you try? Ashwini, can you please tell me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please tell me why we need a system landscape. Tell me the real-time reason.
ఒక ప్రోడక్ట్ని మనం దాన్ని టెస్ట్ చేయాలన్నా డెవలప్ చేయాలన్నా ప్రొడక్ట్ చేయాలన్నా ఒకే పనిని అందరం చేయలేం కాబట్టి డిఫరెంట్గా సపరేట్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్స్ ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి మనం ఇప్పుడు దాన్ని డెవలప్ చేసిన మాడిఫికేషన్ చేసిన తర్వాత టెస్టింగ్కి ఇస్తాం. టెస్టింగ్ వాళ్ళు దాన్ని టెస్ట్ చేసి ఇది కరెక్ట్గా వర్క్ చేస్తుంది, ఇది ఉపయోగపడుతుంది అన్నప్పుడు వాళ్ళు ప్రొడక్షన్ సిస్టమ్కి పంపిస్తారు. అక్కడ టెస్ట్ చేసిన తర్వాత బయటికి రిలీజ్ చేస్తారు.
బయటికి రిలీజ్ చేస్తారు. సో కెన్ యూ టెల్ మీ వన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్? Can you tell me Amazon example? Whatever Amazon example I have told you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please tell me.
క్లాత్స్ ఏ ఉన్నాయి సార్ ప్రెసెంట్.
What? Are you saying something, Ashwini?
ఎస్ సార్.
Tell me.
అంటే కరెక్ట్గా చెప్పడం రావట్లేదు సార్.
You can tell in Telugu also. You can talk in Telugu, no problem. You tell me in Telugu. Let's say why we needed definitely a system, different system. Okay, wherever you go and work, okay, you work in SAP only, but you should understand every client will have a system landscape, at least 3 layers of systems they needed. One they name it as a development system, one they name it as a quality system, the other one they name it as a production system, right?
Yes, sir.
Now let's talk about why exactly these are needed. One more time, maybe 2 minutes we'll spend. Let's say everybody using mobile and everybody has Amazon application in their mobile, right? Just an example.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in Amazon application you might have a 10 functionalities currently. 10 functionalities or 10 categories in a sense. Maybe you have a electronics, maybe you have a clothing. In clothing you have a woman, man, kid, and also you have a different car accessories. Maybe there are lot of categories. Let's say 10 categories you have currently, and Amazon thinks that they want to introduce one more category like a vegetables. They want to sell vegetables also from a Amazon application. Okay, whatever application they put on a Play Store, everybody downloads and they are already using the existing 10 functionalities, right? If you want to add one more functionality in that application, whatever application you put in a Play Store, if you go in a developer mode or a change mode, all the customers, all the users who have already downloaded that application, for them that application will not run, right? Do you think somebody is modifying something, that application will work for others? Do you think? Is it possible? Is it possible or not?
No, sir.
So in simple, if you want to repair your car and if you want to drive your car, is that possible?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
It never possible, right? That is the reason if you want to add one more functionality, the same Amazon application, you should have a dedicated development copy. In this development copy, they'll modify it, they'll add the another functionality, and once the additional thing is added, thoroughly testing needs to be done until the development and testing is carrying. Your business should not stop, right? Amazon should not just sell the products and they have to earn the revenue, right? So it means until everything is finished, you should not touch the production application which they have placed in Amazon, let's say the Google Play Store or wherever you have a copy, right? That copy should not get impacted. Once your testing is done with the new category, once you move the changes to your application which is sitting in your Play Store, once you get that, you will get an update. Please update your application Amazon so that you will see the additional latest features, right? Have you ever seen update your app in your mobile? Why are we updating? To get the new functionalities, right? Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is the reason in a real time, whatever application is using by accountants or end users or anybody, for say maybe if somebody is in a BPO sector, whatever application they are using, that is a production copy. That is a production system, right? From a production system only, business will get the bread and butter. They'll get the revenue, right? So because that is a priority system that should be handled by a business. Whatever systems we handle is, we handle a development system and we support a quality system in a testing time. And if any issue comes in your production system, we will also support. So based on your system landscape, we detailedly discuss there are a job rules, right? If there is a person who is working in a configuration, configuring a particular client related requirement, business requirement, that is a development rule, right? We call it as a development rule. And somebody who develops, okay, who develops, same person should not test, right? What happens if the person develops only test and make the result pass? What happens? Tell me, somebody. This is nothing to do with general information you can tell. If I produce and if I do a testing, what happens? Testing obviously pass, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
That is the reason in IT side also, who develops, the same company, the same team member should not be there in a testing. We have taken example Reliance. Yeah, we have taken an example. Reliance is a one second, guys. So what are we discussing in a plain scenario? Let's say if we are talking about, let's say you selected in one company, how it will be for one company SAP related work, only one IT provider will not do, right? If you see, you take Reliance as an example. So in Reliance, to do a development for Reliance, we have one development team. Maybe the contract between a Reliance and Wipro is for a development. So what Wipro do? Wipro conduct an interview. If you select in Wipro, you will be a developer, right? You work under Wipro. Wipro pay you salary, right? And Wipro tell you for which client you how to work actually, right? That we call it as a project assignment. Where we have seen yesterday when we are talking about the minute you join an organization, you will not work, right? Do you work?
No, sir. No, sir. At least we need 3 months time.
Okay. Okay. What happened, Bonu? You were dropping off and you were joining. Yeah. What happened? Hello. Bonu, can you hear me? Am I audible to you, Ashwini and
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your voice is clear, sir.
maybe Bonu, you are in mute and talking. Just unmute yourself. Yesterday, clearly we discussed, let's say, if you join an organization, will not work immediately, right? Do you work? Immediately, you will not work, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not, sir. At least we need 3 months time to settle down.
Sometimes, but don't think always you have a 3 months, okay? Everything will happen
Yes,
in a
yes,
1 month and you will get selected to a project and you can continue working also, right?
Yes, sir.
yes,
So that based on agreement and IT provider where you join, based on that your job role will be decided, right? Whether you be a developer or you be a quality, maybe a tester or you be a support consultant, right?
supporter.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
that is how it works. But so far, I'm requesting again, please do watch the videos if you are not thorough and remember all the processes, whatever we have discussed. If you remember one day and if you forget other days, what is the use of it, right? There is no use of it. Do you see any use? No use, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, and also I'm requesting by Monday you should need the system access, right? because we are almost done with the theory. What is the theory needed? And now we have to configure things in a system, and you need to understand, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so based on the discussion, we know business. Okay, we know business in a sense. We had a discussion with the business team. We have captured the requirements. Okay, we have captured the requirements. We have sent the requirements for a business review. Business has reviewed our blueprint, whatever a blueprint we have prepared, and we got the approval on a blueprint. And once we get the approval, what we have to do, so far maybe in a blueprint preparation we might have a 2 months time. Whatever the discussion happened, the requirement basically how they do their business and in current their system. Maybe they are not using SAP, now they will buy SAP, they might be using other system, right? Nobody stops their business until SAP application is configured, right? So we have seen the their business processes in an existing system, and we understand our blueprint is approved. Once your blueprint is approved, you need a system to configure the things, right? You need a system to configure. As I as we discussed, at least we need a system landscape development system and a quality and a production. By this time, we only need a development system. Unless you develop only somebody is needed, for a testing and test system is needed, right? Until we don't need a test system or a production system. So yesterday I told you clearly who will take care of a system installation and creating your user ID password and giving your access. Who takes care of it in real time?
Admin, sir.
Admin.
Basis.
What is the module? Basis module, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For a basis consultant, we call him as a infra team or a basis team, right? And also you can take it as admin, SAP admin. Who admins, who takes care of SAP application, SAP installation, SAP RAM maintenance, SAP hardware maintenance, SAP printer setup, everything application related, all responsibilities are lying with basis consultant, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now we have one more person, ABAPer. What does it mean by ABAPer and what he actually supports in a project? Tell me, what does ABAPer do?
He is a programming language.
Correct?
He's a
Correct. He's a programmer. So SAP runs on a program, right? ABAP program. SAP knows what language? ABAP language only it knows, right? If you see
Yes, sir.
all
Yes,
the
sir.
functional modules, these are the functional consultants, right? FICO, MM, SD, HCM. Who all are working in a functional models. If they are come across with any ABAP, let's say program related issue, so ABAP needs to fix that issue, right? ABAPs are not only meant for FICO, not only meant for MM, not only meant for SD. They are for everybody, right? They have to take care of everybody's concerns. Hope you don't remember next time, right? Once we start practicing, we can see what is the program error, how to identify a program error, based on that situation, whom should we reach, what is a basis system error, everything we get to know and we can talk more again, but you remember the basics, okay? Don't forget the basics. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now the requirement is finalized. We get to know everything, and basis consultant is configured a system, and he has given you a username and password, and we are good to start our work, right? Now tell me, can I use no, your password?
No, sir. No.
Why? If I ask you, don't you give me?
No, sir. For a
issue.
Yes. I told you clearly, simply as a manager, I ask you if you give me, okay, it's a loss of your job and it's loss of my job also, right?
Yes, sir.
Be it your manager, whatever reason, manager is manager, that's all. Nobody asks. If somebody asks in some situation also, you should not give, because in a system, everything is captured. I'll show you how the system tracks all your timestamps and when you log in, when you log out. Okay, what is the duration you are in the system? Everything will be tracked. That is the reason you should be aware of it. Simple example I'll tell you. Okay, in a project also there are two modules. Okay, one is onshore. Okay, the other one is offshore. What is mean by onshore and what is mean by offshore? Anybody knows already? Anyone knows?
No, sir, no.
Okay, I'll tell you now. Let's think that Reliance, we are talking about a Reliance company configuration. Reliance is our client and he is a customer. For him, we are gathering the requirements and we are developing a SAP system, right? We are configuring the system. You think SAP is in US, the US company, for a minute. Where they are living, their base origin country is US. They are in US. Let's say the contract, Reliance implementation contract got to Wipro. Wipro is supporting functional modules. All functional modules contract received from Reliance to Wipro Technologies. For some reason, you attended Wipro Technologies interview. You selected as a FICO consultant. Once you join Wipro Technologies, after completing all the formalities, okay, we discussed in yesterday's class, Wipro told, okay, they've conducted a project interview. You have to clear the project interview, as I said yesterday. And once you clear the project interview, they'll assign you into Reliance project, right? Reliance project. Now, only functional modules not enough, right? We also need a basis. Basis module support contract Reliance has given to Atos, right? Atos IT provider. Atos company you guys know, right? If you don't know, you just Google it and know the IT companies also. And for ABAP support, what Reliance has done, Reliance has given to Infosys. Now, entire implementation side, Reliance has included three companies: Wipro for a functional support, let's say functional configuration, Atos for a basis support, and Infosys for a ABAP. If you have a different combinations in IT providers, what is the advantage for Reliance is what is happening in a project, one will complain on others, right? So that Reliance will get the clear picture. That is the reason in a real world, nobody, no client will give entire end-to-end development to one company, one IT provider. They'll never give it. Okay. There is a combination of companies they'll involve in implementation so that the quality of implementation and the results of implementation will be accurate. Okay. So we'll talk more on this. Now, Reliance is in a US, and to do this, you have to interact with the Reliance people, right? Reliance business people. Maybe FI side, total we have one a team lead and two associates in a team. So maybe team lead went to US. Okay. FICO team lead went to US. He's in the US. Why he is in a US? Because he has to directly interact with the Reliance business people. So that what happens if you meet a person directly, you will get the requirement very clearly, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this guy went to US. Client location he went. Onshore in a sense, client location, be it in India, be it in outside India. So you call it as client location or office. Okay. This guy is in a US. Now, to support this project, team lead is not enough. We also need the two associates. They are in India. Okay. They are in India. Two associates in India. They are supporting from India Wipro office. Maybe be it Hyderabad, be it Bangalore, wherever in India, they are supporting. You see? So the person who is working in a client location, that person is named as an onshore employee. What is it? Onshore or a on-site. The persons who are supporting remotely, not from a client location, we call it as a offshore. So now the question is, who will get the onshore, who will get the offshore? That is depends on your skill set, your experience level, and your luck. Okay. Maybe some associates who joins newly, they might go for on-site also. Different country, they'll go and they'll work for 1 year, 6 months, 4 months, right? It's depends on a situation to situation. But you should understand What is mean by onshore? Onshore means you are working in a client location. Let's say if Reliance is an Indian company, if you go in Reliance Mumbai office and if you work, that is also a onshore, because your base location maybe you selected in Wipro in Bangalore, but there is a requirement you have to work in Reliance company, Reliance office for 4 months. That we call it as a on-site. Got it? On-site can be India domestic on-site, it can be international on-site. But a place, client place, always a on-site for you. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Now, why I'm telling this example is you think our team lead is in onshore client location US and now you are in India. Let's say your team lead username got stuck and he could not able to work. He might ask you, hey, maybe he asked me, I'm in India. Hey Krishna, can you give me your password? Then what I'll do, maybe if I don't know, I'll share, but I won't share. But unfortunately, I don't know. I shared the password. Then this person, he is not in India, right? Where he is in US. So he log into the system from a US, and but he uses my ID, my password, right? The minute you log into the system, your ID is connected to which server, which database, everything will be recorded. All of a sudden, from a US, there will be a different server and there will be a different database, right? So every day your ID, when you log into the system from India, you are connecting to so and so server in Mumbai, maybe Hyderabad, maybe in a Bangalore. But let's say today it was connected to US server. Okay. Then first what they'll do is they'll check whether this person traveled to on-site or not. They'll get information. No, Krishna did not travel to on-site. He is a Indian resource, offshore resource. He's working in India only. Then why was his ID is showing logged in as a US server? Then they'll start asking you, right? It's highly impossible, right? You are in India, how can you log in US server? It's impossible, right? Then they definitely ask you, then you will tell, hey, I have shared the password to so and so person who is in a onshore, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It's easy.
Yes, sir.
It's easily identifiable, right? Then by asking the password, he'll lose the job. By giving a password, I'll also lose my job. That is the reason you should understand the importance. I'll show you in a system how this timestamp will be recorded. Okay. Now, now the next step is you need to understand project preparation by yourself. Okay. Project preparation, be it any business. Okay. You don't care about any business. It can be a manufacturing business, it can be a service business, it can be anything. But everything you should know is how start coaching, how to get the business requirement, what is needed actually. If I want to do some configuration in SAP system, what is the right information I should ask? At least, maybe if you're not a senior, senior guys will take care of a requirement. But as a team member, you have to carry. So at least you should learn the good things, right? If you are in my team, the way I talk to the customers, the way I receive responses, I collect the information. Maybe good things you have to capture and you have to follow the same, right? That is how you develop and you grow, right? Now in a
Yes, sir.
project preparation in a sense, you should know, for your module what is needed. Let's say if we talk in a plain vanilla scenario, what is needed, how you get to know is first you have to imagine. So in my module, in my FICO module, if I want to do something, let's say, what are the information I need to ask a business? With this thought, you just think. So typically in FI module, it's about a external reporting. Again, I'm writing, it's about external reporting, right? Right. I've told you already, external reporting in a sense, your P&L account, basically your P&L and balance sheet, right? Without
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
these external reports, your business cannot be continued, because at the end of a financial year, you have to generate these external reports. You have to submit to your tax departments, right? If it is in India, Indian tax department, if it is in US federal government, you have to support the, let's say, submit the external reports based out of you have to pay the tax, right? Now, so what your P&L accounts will contain? First thing, what your P&L account will contain? P&L account will contain your expenses and your revenue, right? Now talk about, by understanding this, I know, okay, in a P&L account, I know it contains expenses and revenue. Now, be it any company, any client you are working, be it Reliance, okay, be it Tata, be it any company, and you name it, any company, maybe multinational companies. We can. There are many companies. I am not recalling. Reliance, Tata, maybe Rio. Rio Tinto is a mining company. Rio Tinto. Okay, there are lots of hundreds of companies, multinational companies. Be it anybody. If you are selected, if you're working in Reliance, how you have to think your thought process is what kind of expenses? What kind of expenses Reliance occur, right? So what kind of business he is doing, related expenses only will happen, right? Now, what kind of revenue? Just you have to understand, that's all. The same logic you have to put always, okay? Revenue Reliance will occur. Now, if you're talking about a balance sheet, whatever business you are doing, that business related assets and liabilities, maybe if you go for a loan, okay, for your business, you might take a loan, you might buy assets, let's say fixed assets you buy, you might have some inventory, okay. What kind of business you are doing, that kind of assets and liabilities only you might have, right? It's not that if your Reliance is a manufacturing company and they are manufacturing some kind of food items and maybe they have electric items, but in their external report and in their business, they should not say I buy, let's say, any pharmaceutical products. Let's say pharmaceutical expenses I have this much. If they say, that is wrong, right? If you ask that question, also wrong, right? You should understand what business line they are into. When you are talking about them also, you have to start like this only. What kind of expenses you have, what kind of revenues you have, how you arise the expenses, how you arise the revenues. Can you show me an example? Can you show me in your existing system? Because for them, ERP is not new. They are using already one ERP system, but only the difference is, new thing is, they're coming to SAP system, right? So that is how you need to start. The next thing is, before you go to the project preparation, first thing, let's talk about, if you want to post an invoice in India. Let's say if you want to post an invoice in US. Why I'm differentiating the places, right? Want to post invoice in the US. Why I'm mentioning the US is, if you don't mention the, it will be us, right? That is wrong. That is the reason whenever I'm writing US, I'm adding the US, right? So that it's a country. Otherwise, it's us, between you and me. Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's talk about, let's talk about if you want to post an invoice in India. Let's say invoice, in a sense, maybe it can be expenses, it can be revenue, it can be anything, okay? It can be asset procurement, maybe it can be asset selling, it can be a loan taken, anything. For now, let's understand expenses. Okay, tell me, with your experience, have you ever seen any business invoice copy? Not only business invoice copy, have you ever been to DMart, more, any supermarket, and you buy something and you get an invoice copy? It's a
Yes,
very
sir.
common
Yes,
thing.
sir.
Everybody sees, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now tell me, if that is an organization, if you want to record that in your system, in your ERP system, what are the key parameters you see and record in a system? Tell me. What are the main fields you have to consider while accounting them? based on your experience, be it a right or wrong, but just tell me.
Quantity and price.
You said quantity, price, okay.
Unit price.
Okay, unit price. Okay, what else? What else? What do you see, Ashwini? Can you tell me few things from your end?
Same sir, quality, quantity, price.
Okay. And you guys have to see the place, right? Date, right? Any tax, right?
And the PO number,
Yeah.
Invoice number.
PO number, PO
reference
number.
number,
Okay. What else?
freight charges, GST charges, freight or GST.
Okay. Freight, GST, it can be considered a tax, let's say. Okay.
Factor. Yes.
Right. What else you say?
Discount charges, if it is discount is there.
Okay. Discount. Okay. Perfectly fine. And a supplier or a vendor, right? From whom
Yes,
you
yes.
buy a product, right?
Shipment address and vendor address.
A vendor. Okay. What else you say? We are talking
Bill
about
to address.
bill to address. That okay. Bill to address. Okay. See, now maybe from now onwards, when you see any invoice copy, at least you might start looking at everything, right? Right?
Yes sir.
Yes.
Now see why I am asking, why I am putting this before I explain. I can simply say this is how you have to configure 1, 2, 3. I can tell, but I am not telling that. Why I am not telling? What all needed by a nature you should understand. Okay. Now you see the same expenses you might happen in India, right? The place differs, right? If you do a business in India, can you go and pay a tax in US? Will that happen? Will that right process?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. So if I do a business in a US, if I say, hey, I pay a tax in India, will they agree? No, right?
No, sir.
No. Wherever you do a business, that is the reason we need a importance to place. Why I am written here place is now if I know place has an importance, wherever you get a revenue, there you have to pay a tax. In a simple example, if you're doing a job in Hyderabad, you earn money in Hyderabad, maybe 30-40% of money you spend there only, Hyderabad, right?
Yes sir.
That is the importance. You should know the logic. The earning capacity, if you give, they'll spend there only. The others will also get benefited. Other businesses will also grow, right? Now let's talk about why I'm asking a place will decide whether it is in the invoice, the particular action, the particular thing has happened in India or other than India. So if you have the importance of a place, then you will start asking Reliance in how many places, place is nothing but a countries you do a business, right? In how many countries currently you are doing a business? We need to ask or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
That is a
Based on we can process the amount like
correct.
it's a foreign vendor or else a local vendor.
Correct, right? Now you see, now you start understanding. And believe me, you don't practice always with the Indian configuration in a system. If you learn only one-to-one mapping, one-to-one configuration in a system, you will never understand a real-time situation and scenario. Okay? Real time, what you have is you have a company which we call it as a client. Client can be any place, any origin country. Maybe he's in India, he's from a US, okay, but he do a business operations in a multiple countries. Let's say some client might have a 50 countries, 100 countries, 150 countries, okay. If the multinational company who is developing SAP application for that client, if they have a huge business, you need to understand the dots between a company codes, let's say the countries to countries, right? Yes or no? That is the
Yes sir.
reason at least you have to configure practicing two countries. Maybe one is our country, Indian configuration you do, and parallelly you select which is that is up to you whether US you want to do, any other companies, or else other countries, or if you want to do 3, 4, 5, that is even better. Okay, so that you never feel once you join an organization also, you don't feel like it's a new for you. You already you are learning here, so that it is okay for you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now let's talk about a place we've decided, right? Place. Place decides, if you know place, how many countries you are doing your business, right? That question you can ask if you know place. Now let's talk about a date, right? Let's talk about a date. Whenever you post a transaction, whenever you record something in a system which is related to business or you, let's say you will keep on writing. Maybe you have a book, keep on writing your expenses, daily expenses, right? Let's say you have a page for a March month. Let's say you spend some money today for some expenses. Whenever you are writing in your book, you write under a March only, right? Not on a February, right? Not on a April. Do you write? It doesn't make any sense, right? So you put a particular page for a March expenses, then you write in a March only, right? Not in a February. February is already over. February related, whatever expenses you put, whatever revenue you got, whether you got the savings or no, you get to know by that reconciliation, right? That page only it will tell you. March related, you have to write in a March only, right? Now you are knowing it better. You're knowing it better. Why you need date is in India, if let's say if the customer is doing a business in India, in a business there is a fiscal year. In other countries also they'll have their own fiscal years, right? Now let's
Yes,
talk
sir.
about what is meant by fiscal year. Fiscal year is nothing but 12 months business period, right? 12 months, the business period, not a calendar periods. Calendar periods are same for everybody, right? What are the calendar periods we have, Ashwini? Periods in a sense, months. What are the
Yes,
calendar months we have?
January to December.
You go in the world anywhere, calendar year means January to December only, right?
Yes, sir.
Now let's talk about a business side. In India, what is our financial year? Is it January to December?
No, sir.
What is it then?
April to March 30. April 1st to March 30.
Perfect. That is in India, right?
Yes, sir.
In India, whatever business you do from April to March, you have to report and you have to get the external P&L and balance sheet. You have to submit Indian Income Tax Department, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's say the same customer is having a business in a US. In a business, the financial and the fiscal year is different. They consider calendar year only a fiscal year. For them, January to December only, right?
Okay, yes, sir.
Now, why we need to understand a date is based on how many countries you are doing a business. Based on that, I can understand how many physical years needs to be set up and needs for this client, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that is the reason we have to ask everybody, right? What are the right questions we have to ask? Date will tell you how many years needs to set up, right? Now, now you have what? So the other thing is the quantity, price, unit, and the invoice number, flight, discount, vendor, bill to address. These all are related to particular the required information that will talk in a later stage whenever needed. For now, you need to know the places, dates. These are very much important, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now tell me, without doing some configuration, directly I can go and I can fill these fields in a system. You tell me, I'll go into the system. I have system readily open. I'm into SAP system now. You should know how to use the system, how to post this entry, right? Let's talk about one entry posting. I'll just post. This is SAP system. I'm just logging in. So I'll just go. You no need to remember on this now. From Monday, definitely we'll work on a system. You see, this is the invoice screen. In an invoice screen, what all the fields are appearing? These fields only we discussed so far, right? A few at least. Dates we have discussed. So company code we have not discussed. You don't know what does it mean, but it's related to country that we'll understand. And the other important is currency. Somebody told currency, right? In which currency you are posting, in which currency that invoice is generated, right? And unless you have these details available, if I am an accountant, I cannot post this entry, right? I'm not able to post any entry. But as a consultant for Reliance, you have to understand a business based on that requirement. You have to set up a system in a background. Once you set up once you tell the business user, hey, I have done the setup, you can use it. Then they can fill these details appropriately and they can post the business activity, right? Activity in a sense, it's an invoice, a simple invoice. But currently, without doing any configuration, they cannot do anything, right? And also you need to understand the steps also. What all the steps you need to configure in a system. With this simple discussion, at least by yourself, you understand what all the importance fields in a invoice that needs to be entered in a system, right? What needs to be entered in a system, based on that only your configuration needs to be set up in a system. It is interlinked, right? First, business. What is there in a business? That should be there in a system now. Unless you have that in a system, you cannot post the business transaction. That's simple, right? Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Now let's talk about little more. We'll go to the next level. First, we got the content, what we are going to do. And now let's start the thing. Before you start, you need to understand the steps. We call it as a org structure, right? You need to create the structure. Why I am telling a structure is, let's say in order you have to go A, B, C, D, right? Or the order will be, structure will be 1, let's say 2, 3, 4, right? This is order, right? If I go, I'll go in this order only. If you go, you'll go in this order only. I cannot jump from A to D, right? If I do that, whether I don't know how to do it, maybe I'm doing something wrong, right? If you know the structure correctly, if you want to build a house, what you do basically, tell me. Anybody in the world, what they do, they'll follow the same structure, right? Can they build directly a wall on
No,
a
sir.
No,
soil? No, right? They have to do a no digging. They have to set up a base. Okay. Once the base is ready, they have to put the bricks, iron, everything, uh, and they have to start the building. Right? Everybody follows the same. Likewise, if you want to configure, your system for any client, you should know the structure. What is the structure is, we call it as the organization structure. One second, guys. We should know the structure. Okay, the client can be a different, but believe me, structure will be same for everybody. Whatever the structure we are going to do, as I said, to build a house, the common structure will be there. Likewise, you have a common organization structure. Okay, let's see. First, if you're doing a business, you should know for which company, which client you are doing a configuration, right? Yes or no? You need to know your company, right?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
First thing is company you should know. This is an organization structure one. The first thing is you should know the company information and you have to tell the system, hey, this is a company. Unless you create some company, let's say Reliance, in a system doesn't know, right? You have to tell the system in a structured way, this is a company, this is a company name, this company. Next, what you ask, obviously, what is your company and where it is situated, the location you needed, right? The basic information, maybe you can take it as address of a company. Yes or no? Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next thing what you ask is what kind of business you do, right? Company you know, and what kind of business you do. Means, let's say if you are a service provider, you are a manufacturer, what are the products you have? Maybe easy example to understand is, let me put in a construction business. So everybody know construction business, right? Hope
Yes, sir.
every-
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
In construction business, what are the different business lines they have in construction? What is their job to do? Construction guys, tell me what they do in construction. Let's say GMR constructions. What they do? They are
They'll plan it, sir. Plan accordingly.
I'm just asking a products. What are the products they make? Let's say they
Like
lay.
iron,
Iron, cement.
cement,
No, no,
and
no.
sand.
You think what they do is, I'm not asking that no low level. I'm asking high level. What kind of business they do is they do laying of a roads, right? They construct airports, right? They construct maybe irrigation projects. They do maybe what I would say the construction, housing constructions, right? So what kind of business they do, and that business, what are the different things they do? Now, if I ask about in a road laying business, what are the expenses they have? What is the process? If I you can tell bricks, sand, steel, that and all, right? Now you know what kind of business they are doing, how many segments they have in a business, right? Now let's say they have different, maybe they named it as one or two businesses, right? Why I am asking this is there is a point. My throat is not well today. Sorry for that. You see, why I'm asking is, let's say Reliance is doing electrical, right? Electrical they have, telecommunication they have, right? We'll take our example only. We consider Reliance is our company. Reliance is in electrical, Reliance Electronics and the telecommunication, they do business. Now, why we need to ask this is, now we can ask back a Reliance, hey, you want the external reports based on your business line. You want to see a separate P&L account and balance sheet account, electrical wise and telecommunications wise. We can ask that, right? So they'll say, hey, I don't want electrical wise and telecommunication wise. I need it consolidated. Maybe they said, I need one P&L account should show me electrical and telecommunication. Likewise, one balance sheet should show my telecommunication and electronics, right? It's why I'm telling this much is it's a different between a customer to customer. Some customer will ask you to combine, some customer will ask you to have a different. You should understand both the things, right? That is the reason I'm telling. Now, if you want electrical separate and telecommunication separate, then my next question is how many countries you are doing your business, right? Why I'm asking how many countries now? I should know in how many countries you are doing business so that accordingly how to set up my system, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's say this guy told India and US, maybe he said France. He said three countries. For example, three countries he said India, US, and France. Let's say the business is two businesses, electrical, tele, and communication, and the both businesses he is doing in a two company codes. Sorry, three countries he is doing a business. Let's talk about you want to have the external reports based on a business line. One is electrical and telecommunication. Now in India, whenever we are capturing a business, you need two P&L accounts, right? Electrical and telecommunication, I'll write tele. You need a P&L separately, you need a balance sheet separately, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Balance sheet, and likewise you need a both reports in India. You have a two P&Ls, telecommunication one, maybe I'll write this, two P&Ls and two balance sheets, right? Each ways we have a one tele, and maybe I'll combine this tele and electric and tele, and this is also electric and tele. You see, we need to have in each country two P&L accounts. One is for electrical business, one is for telecommunications. Likewise, we need to have two balance sheets. One is for electrical and telecommunication, right? This is not stopped here. Whatever business you do, these external reports you have to submit in Indian Income Tax Department. Likewise, you have to do the same for other country also, right? You say this is the US. In US also they said they are doing a two businesses. They have to have a separate. Then same thing they have to do for France also, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So maybe you might think if I only say without discussing, directly can interact with India, I can tell. But in real time, that is not the way it works. In real time, you have to understand everything. Let's say for a German. Sorry, this is for France. Okay, France also you need to generate two P&L, two balance sheets, right? In SAP language, you remember in SAP language, the organization structure wise, first we know the company is Reliance, and to understand wherever he is doing a business, we consider that as a country, right? How many countries I've noted. The second organization unit is a company code. So company code is nothing but legal entity, and based on each country wise, we will have one company code. You remember company code is nothing but a legal entity. What is mean by legal entity? Anybody want to tell me? Whatever you know, tell me.
So organization, sir.
Organization. Okay, good. Next. So whenever you come across with the term company code or a legal entity, you think that, okay, you think that they are talking about a particular country. Let's say you see, if it is a legal entity by definition as for a companies act, okay, as for a companies act, you are doing a authorized business, legal business, okay. And if you're saying it's a legal business, definitely end of the financial year, the external reports, whatever external reports you have to generate for that company code, you have to submit that for a tax authorities. That is called legal entity. Got it? If you say you are a legal entity and you are failing to submit the external reports, then they'll not agree you. They'll come back and they'll check. They'll do a rights on you also, right? That is the meaning. If you listed as a company and you're doing a right business, remember the purpose is to submit your external reports in every financial year end, right? Now let's talk about how many countries you are doing a business. How many countries you are doing a business? In
Three.
this case,
Three countries.
Three
three
countries.
countries. How many companies you are doing? How many companies you have?
One company.
Company is always one. Remember, the company's codes will be dependent on a countries where you do business. Believe me, you definitely work for a multinational companies. They at least have a more than 50 company codes. Remember, okay? So each company code wise, you have to generate external reports. You remember that many company codes you have to create. You see, the company codes you have to create. Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When we define in a system, you will get a better understanding. For now, company code and legal entities are both same. The term can be different. In outside India, few customers will talk legal entity India, legal entity German, legal entity US. Nothing but they are talking about your company code only. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
And
So
other
I
thing
have
is,
a doubt here.
ah,
Uh,
please go
if
on.
we do business in India, so
Okay.
we have only multiple branches in all over India. Like we have 28 states, so we have branch like Bangalore branch, Hyderabad branch. Then how we can define the company code there?
Okay. The company code will be one only. Okay. Always. The next step is we are talking about that only. So you have a country is a base, but to accommodate that, you have a business area. Okay. Business area is nothing but a place. Like, in India, as you said, in India, you might be doing a business in a Hyderabad, Bangalore, maybe Mumbai, Kolkata, right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
so like that many business areas you have to create for India purpose, for US purpose, how many business areas they have, they'll give a list. That many you have to create, and maybe France, how many they need it, will have to create that many business places. Okay, so we call it as a business areas, and also you can treat it as place. Let's talk about a simple entry. Whatever entry you are writing here, this particular invoice in India, maybe it happened in Hyderabad, right? Whenever I post that invoice, I have to enter business area Hyderabad. So that by seeing that invoice, we can understand if you want your external reports, you can generate based on your business area also. Got it? So that it tells you, okay, so much expenses are happening in this business place, maybe in Hyderabad. Likewise, you can understand a revenue also, right? Maybe from Hyderabad I'm getting so and so revenue. Got it?
Yes, sir.
These are the places. We have not finished it yet. The third element we'll talk. Okay, we have just started an organization structure, so there are almost 18 steps. Okay, step by step you need to understand. Okay, in general you need to understand, be it any ERP application, the logic remains same. Now this enterprise structure, whatever organization structure we are discussing, we have to configure one by one in a system. Okay, so then you will get the clarity, right? That practice we do from a Monday. Tomorrow we don't have a class, but I'm requesting, so far we might have completed 5 classes. Please go through all the videos, make a notes, and if you have any doubts, you send me a mail on the same email ID. I'll reply you back. Definitely, I'll take 15 minutes pause on a Monday. I'll take you little, let's say, a short interview for everybody. I need to understand whether you guys are putting interest or not, right? How I could know? By asking the same questions, the topics we covered, you have to answer me.
Yeah,
Got it?
yes, sir. Sure. Yes, sir. Yes.
So, be it English or be it Telugu, whatever language prefer for you, I am okay. But I need content to be cleared and explain the good manner you have to present. Okay, there is no excuse in that. If you have not taken a system access, at least Monday you have to take, because I'll cover something in a system. I'll show you, and I'm not at finished. Okay, still theory I need to tell, and whatever we are discussing here, right? If you don't know the process, there is a possibility in a Google. I'll tell you. Okay, best practices. Okay, so I have not written the word SAP best practice. If you don't know some process, okay, how that process works in real time, you have a provision. There is a SAP standard library. You can access there whatever a process. Maybe in FI module, what are the things? You have a general ledger accounting. I've told already. You have a AP, accounts payable. You have a AR, accounts receivable. You have a AA, asset accounting, or a FA, financial asset accounting, right? If you don't know any process, business is talking. Or if you want to tell them in a detailed way, you don't know, but you have a source in a Google. Okay. I'll tell you everything, how to find out and how to present everything. Just click on close. Okay, this is fine. Just try this. Okay. Just click on SAP S4 HANA. If you don't know some process, you can still read it from a SAP standard best practices and you can tell them. You just click on SAP best practices for SAP S4 HANA. You will get a lot of documentation. Let's say you say we are in a FI, right? Let's understand FI. Different modules, you see, if you want to understand what are the financial close, maybe month end or year end, what are the activities they have. If you want to understand, you just click inside. Okay, you see accounting and the financial close. Let's pick one is a similar one. One is a easy to understand. Maybe asset accounting. Let's pick. You just click, it'll give you entire process. Okay, it will explain you theory, what is mean by asset accounting and how the closing will happen. And if you don't know the process, it will explain you everything, overview everything. You just spend some time. You still know beginning. You just click on process flow. If you click a process flow, the process where it starts and where it ends, what exactly business do and what business want to achieve, everything, the process flow is given by SAP only. You no need to worry. You see, asset accountant, the end user will create a asset master. Okay. If there is any purchaser, create a purchase requisition, convert purchase requisition to purchase order. These are some real-time terminologies. Who are already working, they'll understand this very easily. But freshers, I'll explain you everything. You see, master data, how everything design, this is easy, right? If you don't know, you can read it and you can prepare and you can express to your client, right? So that it will build your confidence levels. That's what I mean to say. But we have just started, we'll learn everything. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.